Let's get right into this week's world famous mailbag. If you have a message for me, hopefully substantive, hopefully not containing slurs, you can email info@davidpakman.com, and many of you do. And we review a handful or so of a couple handfuls, I guess depends on the size of your hand, a handful of those emails every single week, starting sometimes with people who don't like me. Dakota wrote in with the subject, "You're a village idiot." Now, almost a requirement is that you use the wrong form of "your" versus "you are." And indeed, that's what Dakota does. You're a village idiot. A village idiot. Okay. You spit on all the graves of all the fine people who have fought for this country and die for your lazy ass. Anybody know what they're talking about? You piss on the graves of all the fine people who have gave their lives for you can say the S and lies you spume. You S on the lives of the family members who have given their sons and daughters so you slime ball can lie like you do. You are garbage and an effing waste of sperm. Please go back to school and get an education, and maybe you can get a job on CNN. You're a loser. That's YOUR. I think this is sort of like a presented without comment type of scenario. Let's move on. This one almost just as bad. Jeremy wrote in with the subject, "Commie idiot." This email, you have to describe them, in case people are listening, written in all capital letters. Jeremy writing, "Hey, commie genius, if there's global warming, why is it so cold here in Texas, more like global cooling? We're sick of fake news media, and you're dumb. The only media we trust now is OAN and Newsmax. I hope you freeze to death," spelled like the great drummer Josh Freese, not freeze. "I hope you freeze to death with your global warming and COVID hoax. P.S. You're gay. YOUR. You're gay. PPS Trump won by a landslide. He's still my president and yours. To commie, just wait till March 4. You and the other commies will be arrested. The military is taking control and Trump is in charge. Education, critical thinking, mental health treatment, media literacy, many deficits in this country exposed by the mailbag." All right, let's get into more substantive stuff. Felix wrote in saying, "Trump guilty of numerous felonies. Why not prosecuted?" It's a fair question. "Dear David, sir, I genuinely don't understand it. Trump seems to be guilty of numerous felonies. Why isn't he prosecuted? Why not convicted? Why is there obviously no interest in doing so? Are there serious consequences for the person who would have the power to do it? This person could go down in the history books. Wouldn't it also be something the Democrats could use well in the election campaign? I genuinely don't get it." These are all fair questions. And what we learned last week is that the prosecutors investigating Trump in Manhattan believed he had indeed committed multiple provable felonies and resigned. So did Mark Pomerantz, the prosecutor, resigned because he thought it clear that there was no actual plan to prosecute Trump. He said, "We've done the investigation. We have the evidence. The evidence is solid enough we could prove this stuff in court, but there's no interest in prosecuting." And as I've said before, there's big hesitation to be the first to prosecute. I believe if you saw one prosecution of Trump, that you would see many. And what they're afraid of, I don't know at the end of the day. As many of you know, we did start publishing the David Pakman Show clips to the right-wing platform Rumble. Langdon wrote in about Rumble and saying, "It's not so much free speech. Hey, David, when I saw you joined Rumble, I figured I would join as well and test their claims of being immune to cancel culture and 100% free speech. As you probably know, videos and comments are rated by the number of rumbles received. You can rate a video or comment with a positive or a negative rumble. So for example, if a comment gets 4 positives and 6 negatives, your net rumble is -2. When you get into the negative, your comment is automatically hidden and you are not allowed to reply to any replies to your original comment. This is not a shock. This is not a shock. And there is no, I mean, listen, we all know that we're a free, if a platform markets itself as being a free speech platform, it's already kind of weird. You know, when I think of platforms, I think about their functionality and utility. YouTube, the biggest video sharing site in the world. Oh, it's about sharing videos. That's what it's about. TikTok. It is a rapidly growing vertical format, short form video content. Oh, okay. That's what it's about. When someone says this is a free speech platform, it's almost not even really a meaningful mission or description. And you should, anytime you hear that, you should at least be wondering, what the hell are they talking about? Let's see. Mike wrote in about my appearance on the right-wing Michael Knowles show, saying, "Dear David Pakman, coming from a conservative perspective, I heard you on the Michael Knowles show this morning and wanted to thank you for coming across the aisle to have such a civil conversation about such polarizing issues. I was extremely impressed in the way you engaged him. I meandered over to your site and again was quite impressed. I'm looking forward to exploring more of your content. I hope other Daily Wire followers are as appreciative of your willingness to debate these topics, something I find less and less of these days. Best of luck." Yeah, I actually did get 3 very nice emails from people who caught my Daily Wire appearance. Here's another one. Kyle, hey, really enjoyed your perspective while you were on the Michael Knowles show. I don't agree with everything he said. I don't agree with everything he says, but finding different opinions where crap is not shoved down our neck without a moment to hear a counter opinion is not always easy to find. I appreciate you having the conversation with him and keeping him honest. I appreciated your insistence be heard so I could understand your perspective better, even if it challenged my own views. This is great. This is great to see. Unfortunately, the vast majority of the messages I got were horribly anti-Semitic and just slurs and attacks. But I did get 3 nice messages from that appearance. Carrie wrote in. Carrie says, "Hey, David, love your show. My whole family watches together every night. Miss you on weekends. Not sure if you've covered this, but it would be interesting to delve into the psychology behind why some people believe in conspiracy theories. There must be a certain personality type that has the tendency to be drawn into conspiracy over truth and facts. Have a great day." It is an interesting topic. We've studied it extensively, and I've done a number of interviews. And at the end of the day, in talking with a person, you'll sometimes learn that they don't like uncertainty. And not liking uncertainty often goes hand in hand with being susceptible to conspiratorial thinking. And the underlying kind of idea is when terrible things happen, seemingly that are random, that can be really tough for people who want to believe everything is certain, everything is planned, everything is predictable and happens for a reason. And so it starts to become preferable to them to believe, instead of, wow, that was a random bombing. I could have been there, or my loved ones could have been, anybody could have been there. That's crazy. It's completely unpredictable. Instead, it's more comforting in a way to know there's not random bad stuff. That was a planned event. It was a false flag. It was whatever. That idea or that feeling is common to a lot of conspiratorial thinking. Not all, and there's much more to it. But that is something we've explored and very much worthwhile. Last one today is from it's from Joseph, and it's about the Ketanji Brown Jackson hearings, and it makes no sense. The subject line is Judy demeaning yourself. I don't know what that means. Anyway, it says, David, when you just lie and act like Justices Barrett and Kavanaugh were not qualified for the Supreme Court based on their resume, you just demean yourself. Both were highly qualified, just as Ketanji Brown Jackson is. When you feel the need to lie and ignore reality, you undermine everything you say. I never said Barrett and Kavanaugh were unqualified. What I said were two things, and this is where please react to the things I say, not the things you heard or want me to have said. What I pointed out was, if you look at her experience across 8 different areas of law and judging, Judge Jackson is more qualified than all 9 currently on the court. That's one thing I said, and I believe that that's true. If you look at her experience, not only as a federal judge, but on a sentencing commission, and you look at all those things, she has more types of experience than any of the 9 currently on the court do. In addition, I said, the idea that Kavanaugh and Barrett could be qualified and Jackson isn't is laughable. So I never said Kavanaugh wasn't qualified. I never said Barrett wasn't qualified. What I said is it's cartoony to suggest Kavanaugh and Barrett might be qualified, but Jackson is not. That doesn't make any sense. So Joseph, critical listening. Critical listening, very, very important skill to learn. So we used to call it active listening in school. Let's learn it. We have a great bonus show for you today. Sign up at joinpakman.com to get access. We will be a little bit of a different schedule going on next week, but I will tell you about it soon. But don't miss today's bonus show.